and I'll be discussing one topic, which will be my review on the Justice League movie. So, yeah, it's been a while. I would say at least a week since I've done a podcast episode. So please bear with me. I spent, I say, days editing my interviews. I did some sound editing for that, and it was at least somewhere between 18 or 19 podcast interviews I'd done at Kansas City Comic Con, which was in October. Like it was October 10th through the 12th. Is when the events is when the events happened, pretty much. So, matter of fact, yeah, it took place November 10th through 12th. So, 3 days of podcast interviews. But but anyway, I just want to just go on record on that. And now let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk about Justice League. So, when I saw Justice League, I would say it lived up to my expectations, pretty much. I thought it was good. So, and before I get to that, I'm just going to give you a little brief. Well, I wouldn't say brief, but I'm going to give you a summary on the movie. So, for those who have not seen the Justice League movie yet, I strongly advise you not to listen to this episode. So you've been warned. But yeah, so what happened was, it takes place like after the events of Batman vs Superman. That's when that's pretty much when everybody had their cameos. Like Flash had his little cameo, Aquaman has cameo, the people in Wonder Woman's group had their cameo when they had that photograph from I think 1918 or something like that. But yeah, or maybe it was 1800. I'm not sure. But it was a photograph, so it showed Chris Pine and a group of stars that were in the Wonder Woman film. And then, of course, you have Aquaman, his little cameo, and then Cyborg's cameo. So, but yeah, like in the beginning, you have Batman going after a criminal who just pretty much broke into somebody's apartment and stole some stuff. Batman's chasing him. He eventually apprehends him, ties him up, hangs him, and what turns out Batman was using the criminal as bait to track one of those wing things that were pretty much those things that were in the Batman vs Superman movie. It was a scene where Batman was, I guess, beating the crap out of some people, and then he also had some beans or whatever those things were. But yeah, those things were in, I guess, Batman's dream or whatever in the Batman film. So, but yeah, it turns out that these things are attracted by fear. Fear attracts them, pretty much. So they sense the fear in people. So, and then unfortunately, Batman caught one, but then had to frag it. So, kill it rather, or it exploded. So then you have this is like a 2 hour plus long movie. So, you have the Batman part. Then you have the Cyborg part, where Dr. I think Silas from the Batman vs Superman film, he had his little cameo pretty much when he was doing a recording, when he was using Cyborg as a test subject. And I can't remember what that thing is called, but it was like a box of some kind that gave Cyborg some body parts in the Batman vs Superman film. So I just want to let you know, guys, that Justice League film and Man of Steel, Justice League, and Wonder Woman, they're all connected to the Justice League. So from Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, Justice League, this movie takes place after these movies, after the events of those movies, pretty much. But anyway, so you have yes, you have that, and then you have Wonder Woman. She's doing her thing at the museum, and then next thing you know, there's trouble at the bank, and she comes in, beats down the bank robbers, and saves the day, pretty much. I like how when last robber standing was trying to shoot at the hostages, and then Wonder Woman came in with her speed and blocked all his bullets, pretty much. So took down the criminals, all of them, including the guy that was shooting at the hostages. So then later on, there's another scene where Bruce Wayne is looking for Aquaman, pretty much. Was like, hey, there was, I guess he comes to the bar and he's like, hey, I'm looking for a guy such and such. He delivers fish and stuff like that. Then it turns out Aquaman was in the bar. Then, he's like, hey, we're looking for warriors, we're looking for people, we're trying to recruit. And he's like, oh, not interested. But then, later on, Bruce Wayne looks at a little, it was some writing on the walls or something like that, of 3 boxes. And these 3 boxes are connected. There was one held by the Knights, one was held by the Amazonians, and another one was held by the Atlanteans, pretty much. So he noticed that little, I guess, hieroglyphics or whatever or writing on the wall or whatever. It looks like hieroglyphics. But anyway, so he says, okay. So Aquaman's like, okay, not interested. Later on, he goes into the sea, and some guy on a boat is in trouble, almost drowns. Aquaman saves him, drags him, or he carries him into the bar, orders a beer, and says it's on the guy, on the boatman. Since he saved his life, he's like, it's on him. Funny. Anyway, so then, he finds Flash. He wants to recruit him. Flash says he was in. And then next thing you know, well, while all that's going on, Steppenwolf, who is the main antagonist of the film, is on a hunt for the 3 boxes. So, turns out he was getting the boxes one by one. First, he went after the Atlanteans. I'm sorry, not the Atlanteans, the Amazonians. Yeah, the Knights, Amazonians, and Atlanteans. They're ones that, had the boxes. But anyway, he got to the Amazonians first. So, yeah, he got to the Amazonians first, including Queen Amazons. They tried to protect the box, but eventually failed. Steppenwolf got that first box. Then, he goes in Atlantis and gets the box. I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me this guy can breathe on the freaking water? And then he fought Aquaman pretty much. And what's her name? The queen of the Atlanteans, who's played by Amber Heard. Ooh, man, she was fine in that get-up, pretty much. Very hot. But yeah, so yeah, she did her thing, had her little cameo, but she's going to have an important role in the next Justice League film and, of course, in the Aquaman film. So, but yeah, he went underwater in Atlantis, and Aquaman did put up quite a fight. He tried to protect the box, but even he failed as well. And Steppenwolf got that second box. So then he had to find the third box. The third box he didn't get till later. So, but he was looking for the third box, and when I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, now I remember. So yes, it was later on. they joined together. It was Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and Flash. They join later on. I mean, they join up later on to track down Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf has hostages, including Dr. Silas Stone, I believe. Turns out Dr. Silas Stone, played by Joe Morton, is the father of Cyborg, pretty much. So he was held hostage, and while he was trying to hunt down the next box, Dr. Stone said he'd rather die than tell him where it is. But I think he knew that his son was connected to that box. So then, before Steppenwolf was able to kill him, Cyborg came in and intervened. So, he fought. He fought he fought Steppenwolf and his, henchmen, or whatever those wing things are. So yeah, they were fighting pretty much. It was a good fight, good scenes. I like how the Flash did his thing. Then turns out that turns out that they did their thing. They tried. Steppenwolf got away. And then they realized later on that they had their hands full. That's when they were able to. They only had one more solution, so they needed Superman. Superman was dead for a while, but then he was brought back. So they used, I guess, that box, or whatever the technology that was used for Cyborg. Used that technology, went into the ship where Lex used General Zod's body to create Doomsday. Same thing. So they had to form a lot of electricity in order for the box to work. So Flash had to use his speed, his power, which creates I guess electricity as well, with his speed and everything like that. I guess Speed Force. I guess he used the Speed Force to create power, and also while touching the box, or whatever that cube is, he had touched the cube once it hit the water. Therefore, same way Vision was the same way Vision was. How can I say it? What is that word? I guess. Well, I guess I could use awaken or whatever. But that pretty much was enough power to bring Superman back. So Superman comes back, doesn't know who he is. I guess he goes to the statue or whatever, and the Justice League runs in. They chase him down, find him, and then turns out, I guess they fight him for a little bit, and then the funny thing is, Flash comes in, and I guess as he's running fast, Superman detects him, and of course everybody's like all surprised, and I'm thinking, y'all shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Superman's fast too, so he can pretty much detect anybody that has superhuman speed. So yeah, they had their hands full. But then Lois Lane came in later on, and I guess he stopped after that. He also he started to remember her, and then she took them. He flew with her and took them to the farm, the Kent farm, pretty much. So, later on he remembers, and then okay, I'm gonna make this short. So there's pretty much a battle ahead. I guess they're somewhere out in Europe, trying to fight Steppenwolf and his crew. Unfortunately, Steppenwolf had the third box. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that um, before Steppenwolf, I guess before he started getting boxes, they had like a little flashback of there was a flashback of Steppenwolf fighting the Amazons, the Lanterns, and like the Green Lantern Corps, pretty much, and the Atlanteans. So they all formed an alliance and fought Steppenwolf and his crew, pretty much. But then turns out one lantern got killed, and then his ring escaped his finger and just flew away. So yeah, just want to let you know they did show cameos of the lanterns, not John Stewart or Kyle Garner or Hal Jordan, not those Green Lanterns. They just showed some Green Lanterns fighting battle alongside with the Atlanteans and the Amazonians. But yeah, it was the Amazonians, the Atlanteans, and the Lanterns that formed an alliance. So yeah. Just want to let you know that the Green Lantern does have a role to play in the next Justice League film, and there should be another film called Green Lantern Corps. So look out for that one. But yeah, anyway, so they had like a little, not exactly a one last stand, and they just said it was the final battle in the movie, pretty much. So, Steppenwolf is fighting, and his I guess minions are fighting the Justice League. So he bests them. They put up quite a fight, but then Superman comes in later on and beats down Steppenwolf. So, but then but just want to let you guys know, Superman was not running fast or anything like that. He flies faster than he runs. So just want to let you guys know. But yeah, so then the Justice League later on broke his little staff or stick deal. So now he lost control of his little minion deals. But turns out he was afraid. So then, of course, those minion things or whatever those things are detect fear. They know that Stephen was afraid. They start attacking him. I think he teleports out of Earth. So I'm guessing we're not going to see. I'm guessing that we haven't seen the last of Steppenwolf. So just want to let you guys know. And then later on, everybody gets back to their lives, getting ready for the next battle, and they fixed the farm. They fixed the Kent farm that was messed up pretty much, and then also Bruce Wayne's about to move back into. He's about to rebuild Wayne Manor, so I look forward to that. So, but yeah, it was the end of the movie pretty much. Everybody's, just living their lives and getting ready for any upcoming battles. Oh, and by the way, there were post credits and after credits as well. So, during credits / post credits, and of course after credits. Post credits were when Flash and Superman were trying to see who was the fastest. So there was like ready, set, go, pow, and then next thing you know, like Flash is running, but Superman is flying instead of running fast. But in the cartoons, Flash and Superman were running, trying to see who the fastest was, and it turns out it was a tie. But for the record, Flash is faster than Superman, so as far as running goes. But yeah, Flash was in the movie in the post credits. Flash was running, Superman was flying, so they were pretty much at a tie. Then after credits, Lex Luthor was supposed to be in jail, but he escapes and uses, a decoy or somebody else in his place in his cell. So he miraculously escapes, and he's on his boat or yacht or whatever, and he is met with a guest. It turns out that guest is Deathstroke, and Deathstroke's played by Joe Manganiello, and his last name's Italian, so it's hard to pronounce. But yeah, he's Deathstroke. So I'm guessing this is a prep for the next Batman film, and I'm guessing also the Legion of Doom, since Lex Luthor and Deathstroke were part of Legion of Doom. So just yeah, I guess they're talking about I guess Lex Luthor was talking about forming an alliance with Deathstroke. So, but yeah, that was pretty much it. And I also want to say before I do that, Batman versus Superman. Sorry, the Justice League gets a. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a 9.9. So, and it's 9.9, and then as far as like, yeah, I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Then as far as the rating goes, I'm gonna give it a 9.9. So, the cinematography was excellent. The special effects was excellent. The costume designing was good. I like the backgrounds. I like the concept art that they've done for it. So I like the storyline. So I mean, a lot of people thought it was overrated. Justice League was overrated, but I thought it was pretty good. And Justice League is something I would watch a second time. So yeah, I like how they did the script. I like the characters, and they picked the perfect people for these characters. So, but yeah, that was pretty much it, So, but yeah, anyway, that concludes this interview. Feel free to visit us and like us on Facebook. We are available on iTunes, the Google Play Music app, and YouTube.